What's up? It's J-Way 2 here. It's your first revelation for this week. This week we're going to continue with diligence. We're going to talk about destiny demanding diligence. Today we want to look at a character from the Bible by the name of Joshua. And Joshua was the successor to Moses. Um, Moses died, and he didn't get to cross the children of Israel over into the promised land. And Joshua was the guy that was going to do it. It was his destiny to do that. It was his destiny to do the things that he did. And God called him, and God called him by name and charged him with the things that he was supposed to do. Um, in in your life, there are certain things that you're called and you're destined to do, and that is your destiny. And the thing about your destiny is, um, no matter what you may think of it, no matter what you may think of yourself, no matter what you may think of what you're going through, and how long it's taken you to get there, and no matter about all of that, God already has your destiny outlined, and He has the path towards your destiny, which is your purpose. He has all of that in line and waiting for you. And the problem is we want to try to get ahead of God and and do the things that we know that we're called to do, but we, because of the timing, because we don't think that God's timing is up to our timing, we kind of get discouraged, or we try to go ahead of God, and we try to walk ahead of him, and we think about our ages, and we think about our lives, and we think about what we need, and we try to hurry and rush God into doing what he of course he told us what he would do, but we try to rush him and inflict our timing upon his, and that never works. Um, I read in the book a couple of days ago, um, we shouldn't try to rush God. If we grasp for anything, we should grasp for his hand and let him do the leading, because when he does the leading, we can be sure that we're going where we're supposed to go. And a lot of us, we try to get ahead of God and try to, you know, further our destiny search without him. And without him, you will not reach your destiny. Without his timing, there's no way you can make it to where he wants you to go, because his timing is perfect and absolute. He's sovereign. He does what he wants when he wants, but he also has a divine timetable, and he expects you to follow that timetable. And if you follow that timetable, live on purpose, you will reach your destiny. And destiny demands diligence. Now, what we're talking about today, we're talking about Joshua, and we already explained who Joshua was. And this sixth chapter of Joshua, we're talking about the Battle of Jericho. And I mean, it's known as the Battle of Jericho, but was it really a battle? It wasn't a battle against Jericho. It was a battle in the mind. And we're going to see that in a minute. A lot of our battles, we think that we're battling against people. We think we're battling against time. We think we're battling against all kind of external forces. But a lot of the times, the battle goes on in here because of what we're thinking, because of where we think we should be, and what we think we should be doing at this particular time. And that's where a lot of the battle happens. That's where a lot of the depression happens, and a lot of the angst and the anxiety. It happens in your head because the external forces cannot deny what God is doing. No matter what's going on, that can't be denied. But what happens is our brain gets to functioning in a different way. That's why I always say you have to lose your mind, put on the mind of Christ. I just finished the backgrounds to that song. I lost my mind. I cannot wait to put that out. I do the lead vocals tomorrow. But y- sometimes you have to, I mean, all of the time, you need to lose your mind and put on the mind of Christ, because a lot of the anxiety and a lot of the depression and emotion and everything that happens to us that causes us to miss our destiny, a lot of those things happen in the brain. It's not necessarily somebody's fault. It's not necessarily what they said or what he said or what he did or what I did. A lot of it has to do with the brain. And this battle of Jericho, it it wasn't a battle against the people of Jericho. It was a battle in the brain because of what God said. Now listen to what God told Joshua. He said, "Look, I want you to get all of these people together. I want you to get 7 priests and all of this, get the horns and everything together. And I want you to march around the wall every day for 6 days." Now, I hear you, because I would have questions. Joshua didn't have any questions. Joshua just did what God said. And we'll get back to that. But I would have questions. God, now these people, they ready to fight. And and us marching around this wall, this is a wall. It's solid. What us marching around this wall gonna do? You didn't tell us to get a pickaxe. You didn't tell us to get a sledgehammer or a forklift. You telling us to just march around this wall? For 6 days, we're gonna march around, and on the seventh day, God said, march around 7 times, and I will give you the land. What? Okay. For 6 days, you want us to march around a wall. And on the seventh day, march around 7 times. Can you imagine what's going on in the head of Joshua? And can you imagine what's going on in the head of the people that Joshua is leading? Joshua has lost his mind. Yes, he did. I'm glad that he did. A lot of people may have those types of thoughts about you. You lost your mind. You crazy. What you talking about is crazy. You going out there marching around this wall. Nothing that you're saying looks to me as though it will help this wall come down. Nothing you're the marching and all of that, and then the seven times, and on the seventh time we start hollering and praising God. That's all well and good, but how is that gonna knock this wall down? Battle in the brain. It wasn't a battle against anybody. It was a battle against what was going on inside of their heads. And a lot of the times, our destiny is delayed because of the battle that's going on right inside your own mind. I battle with it myself. It's times that I just want to quit and give up because the stuff that God is saying to me is not lining up for what I want for my life. The things that He's telling, I often talk about when I was told by God to leave my dad's church that was established, and I had a reputation there, and I'd done a lot of work there, and people knew me there, and there was a lot that I was doing there, and God was telling me, "No, I need you to go and sit alone for a little while." And I'm still sitting right now. I'm just waiting on what He has, but that sounds crazy to me. I know it sounds crazy to people that don't understand what God is telling me. I know people were saying, I know people that know me were saying, what is he doing? Why would he do that? Why would he leave what is established to go in search for something that is not there? The battle happens in your own head. I was thinking the same thing. Why, Lord, would you lead me out here? Why would you do this to me? Why am I out here all alone, struggling, trying to figure things out? You're telling me this and you're telling me that, but I don't see it happening. But as I'm going through this journey, I start to see things happen that I can't explain because I got out of my own head. I lost my mind and put on the mind of Christ and just decided to follow. And that's what Joshua did. He didn't try to answer it. He didn't try to understand it. He didn't even try to get an explanation to give to the people that he was leading. All he did was told them what God told him. And he said, we're going to do it. Let's do it. And I'm sure there were people that was like, this Joshua has lost it. We need Moses back. As much as they cried and murmured about Moses, they probably were saying at this time, I'd rather have Moses than Joshua, because Moses came out, did all these things that God told him to do, and we saw the results of it. But now they're looking at the back end of what Moses did instead of looking and seeing from the beginning that this man is called by God and God is leading him. Instead of seeing that with Moses, they murmured. Now they're doing this, probably doing the same thing with Joshua. Joshua is crazy. Joshua has lost his mind. He wants us to go out there and walk around this wall. And he's saying God told him this. Walk around this wall for 6 days. And on the 7th day, we walk around 7 times, and this wall is going to fall. Sounds crazy. But a lot of the stuff that God does sounds crazy. Michael Todd always say it's only crazy until it happens. You have to have faith enough to walk in purpose. And when you walk in purpose diligently, you will reach your destiny. Joshua was diligent. He did all that God commanded him to do. He did it. And when he did, and the people followed him, amazing things began to happen. Now they did it. They walked around the wall 6 times in the 6 days. On the 7th day, they walked around 7 times. And on the 7th time, they hollered out, gave praise unto God, blew the horns and everything. And the wall fell down. No pickaxe, no sledgehammers, no pulleys, no tractors, no forklifts, nothing. The wall fell down because they did what God commanded them to do diligently. Now, how many of you would have walked around that wall for 6 days and then on the 7th day walked around it 7 times, knowing the danger, knowing the unbelievableness of it? Because who can believe that you just walking around the wall is going to make the wall fall down? And the Bible said the wall fell flat. It completely came down. It didn't come out in rubble. It wasn't no earthquake. God knocked it straight, flat down because they were diligent and they walked in their purpose diligently. And destiny always follows diligence. Destiny demands diligence. When God calls you to do something, no matter how crazy it may seem, walk in faith on purpose, and you will reach your destiny. Walk in faith on purpose diligently, and you will reach your destiny. Once again, walk in faith on purpose diligently, and your destiny will be revealed. You will reach your destiny if you walk in purpose diligently with the faith knowing that God is going to do what he said, no matter how long it may take, no matter how crazy it may seem, God will do what he said he would do in my life, in my ministry, in my business, in my marriage, in my home, on my job. Whatever God has called me to do, I know that he's going to do it because I have faith. I'm walking on purpose. I'm walking on purpose in faith diligently. And I know that my destiny is coming. Brothers and sisters, your destiny is tied inextricably to your diligence. If you diligently walk on purpose in faith, your destiny is attached to that. You can't take it away. You're not going to reach your destiny unless you walk in faith on purpose diligently. Destiny demands diligence. Joshua was diligent. The people that Joshua was leading was diligent to what God said. They did all that he said the way that that's what diligence is. Diligence is doing what God said to do to the letter, doing all that God said, all of it, not just parts of it. And we start praying, but then we fall off. But God says, the fervent prayers of the righteous availeth much. Fervent means we pray honestly, earnestly, and continuously. A lot of us, that's why we can't reach our destiny. How many of you would have walked around that wall every day and then said, if somebody came to you today and told you, well, if you want this to happen for you, God said for us to go outside and walk around whatever it is for 6 days and then walk around it on the seventh day 7 times. A lot of us will cast that away. Say, oh, no, that's foolishness. I don't want to hear that. But the people that Joshua was leading understood that God called him. Joshua understood his call, and he walked in faith on purpose and was diligent, and he reached his destiny. He did all that God commanded him to do. And that's when you reach your destiny. Brothers and sisters, destiny demands diligence. We have to be like Joshua and do all that God has called us to do, no matter what it seems like. And no matter who he has us up against, because the bottom line is with God, we can do all things. Without him, we can do nothing. With God, we can move mountains. Without him, we can do nothing. When we have faith in God and believe that he's called us and we do what he's told us to do, our destiny is certain. And if we walk in faith on purpose, diligently, our destiny is certain, and we will reach our destiny. Destiny demands diligence. God bless you. I love you. See you later on this week.